Hello children, welcome to Jairam High Secondary School online classes. This is a video from Class 8 Biology Unit 6 Microorganisms. I hope you all have viewed the previous parts of this lesson, part 1, part 2 and part 3. In that videos we have discussed about the various groups of microorganisms such as virus, bacteria, fungi, algae and protozoa, and we also discussed about the shape, structure, characteristics, nutrition and reproduction of various groups of microorganisms. And also we have seen the beneficial effects of microorganisms, how the microorganisms are useful to us in the field of medicine, in the field of agriculture, in industrial level and also in our day-to-day life. Though microorganisms proves to be beneficial to us in all these ways, many of the microorganisms are disease causing agents. They are nothing but pathogens. So the pathogens are the microorganisms which have the ability to cause diseases in other group of living organisms. The microorganisms has the ability to cause diseases in plants, animals, human beings, and even we know very well viruses, they are the group of microorganisms and they even cause diseases in other microorganisms in bacteria which are called as bacteriophages. So microorganisms in many of the ways they cause diseases in various living organisms. So in this video we are going to see the harmful effects of microorganisms in plants, animals and human beings. So before that we need to know what are pathogens. The pathogens are the disease causing organisms. So the organisms which can cause diseases in other living organisms, they are called as pathogens. In other words, it can be called as germs also, GERMS. So germs are pathogens, they have the ability to cause diseases. Okay, so how the microorganisms will enter into a human being. So if we have any cuts or wounds in our any parts of our body, these microorganisms can enter inside the cuts and wounds and then they enter into inside our bloodstream and they can cause any kind of diseases. So once when the disease occur, it can be revealed with the onset of different kinds of symptoms. So once when a microorganism has entered inside our body, it will start to produce different kinds of toxins. These toxins are encountered by our human immune system and our immune system will start to produce antibodies against that toxins. So there will be a fight between the antigen and antibody, and once when our immune system level is very high, it will kill the disease causing microorganisms. So after that we will be getting relief from the disease. So how will we come to know that we are affected by certain kind of disease? Through the symptoms. So through the symptoms only we come to know we are affected by certain kind of diseases. Okay, so these microorganisms once when enter inside our body, it cause different kinds of symptoms. For example, if a common cold virus has entered inside our body, we'll get various kinds of symptoms like headache and eyes are burning, and then we'll get some cold, cough and fever is also a symptom of common cold. So once we feel that our body is not good, once we feel we are not comfortable with day-to-day life activities, we call it as a disease. So disease means ease, there is no ease in us, discomfortness. So if we are unable to do our day-to-day life activities, there is a hindrance to do our day-to-day life activities. So at that time we are known to have some kind of diseases. So through the symptoms we can know that we are affected by certain kinds of diseases. Okay, so this how the microorganisms will encounter our body and will cause disease. And what is the mode of spreading of microorganisms? So different microorganisms have different modes of spreading. For example, now recently we are hearing that COVID-19 viruses, they can spread through air. So since they spread through air, it will be entered into our nasal cavity, then it will be entering into our lungs. So it can cause severe diseases in lungs. So that only we are unable to breathe. So this kind of viruses can affect our lungs. Once when the microorganisms is entering into our food path, for example, if the cholera causing microorganism Vibrio cholerae, it is entering through food and contaminated water. So if it is entering into our oral cavity through our food pipe, then it will cause any kind of damages in our digestive system. So likewise, each microorganism will spread through different modes of transmission. Okay. So only we are asked to wear mask for to prevent us from the COVID-19 infection, since it will be spreading through air. Okay, so different kinds of microorganisms have different means of transmission. So we'll see what are the kinds of microorganisms and how it is spreading and what is the causative organism of the disease in the following slides. So here comes the disease caused by microorganisms in human beings. So here we have the human diseases, and next table we have the causative microorganisms, and here we have the mode of transmission and what are the symptoms. As I already said, once a microorganism enters into our body, it causes various kinds of symptoms, and what are the preventive measures and the treatment. So we have already discussed in the previous video. Preventive measures is in the form of vaccine. So vaccine will help to prevent before the onset of diseases, and treatment will be given in the form of an antibiotic. So antibiotic is a preparation of any kind of microorganism, so which will be given after the disease has occurred. So it is given to get rid of the disease and get cure also. So one by one we'll see in detail. First disease is tuberculosis. This is a very common diseases in all over the world. Like many people are dying due to COVID-19. Daily we are hearing the news. Likewise, due to tuberculosis also, the death rate is very high in all over the world. So tuberculosis is also a very deadly disease. But recent years we have discovered vaccine for tuberculosis, and the death rate is also being reduced nowadays. So tuberculosis, this is caused by a kind of bacteria called Mycobacterium tuberculosis. So this is the causative organism. This is the organism which has ability to cause tuberculosis disease in human beings. So causative organism is the responsible organism which is causing the disease. So that is called causative microorganisms. So tuberculosis is caused by Mycobacterium tuberculosis. And mode of transmission, how it can spread. It can spread through air and sputum of an infected person. So sputum is nothing but சளின்னு சொல்லுவாங்கல்ல, அந்த இரும்பும் போது கட்டியாக வரும்ல அந்த சளி. ஸோ அந்த சளி மூலியமாக ஸ்ப்ரெட் ஆகும். ஸோ த்ரூ air and sputum of infected person. So what are the symptoms of tuberculosis? If a person has encountered Mycobacterium tuberculosis bacteria in his body, so that person has these kind of symptoms. So that person will be having persistent cough. What do you mean by persistent cough? இப்போ நம்மளுக்கு காமன் கோல்டு வந்ததுன்னா கொஞ்சம் சளி இருக்கும், இருமல் இருக்கும், அதோட நின்றுடும். ஆனால் கண்டினியூஸ் காஃபாக இருந்துகிட்டே இருக்கும். கண்டினியூஸாக உங்களுக்கு 3 months 4 months காஃப் கண்டினியூஸாக இருந்துகிட்டே இருக்கும். ஸோ தட் இஸ் கால்ட் persistent cough. And blood mucus. So when they spit up, they will have blood in their sputum. So that is called blood mucus. And immediate loss of weight. And breathlessness. So breathlessness, அவங்களால சரியாக மூச்சு விட முடியாது. breathlessness. So the same breathlessness அப்படிங்கிற ஒரு சிம்டம் நம்ம வந்து கொரோனா வைரஸ்னாலையும் COVID-19நாலையும் அஃபெக்ட் ஆயிருக்குன்னு பார்த்துருப்போம். ஸோ அதே மாதிரி breathlessness is a symptom of tuberculosis. The patient is unable to breathe properly. So that is the symptom of tuberculosis. And what is the preventive measure of tuberculosis is the BCG vaccine, Bacillus calmette-guerin. That is the name of the vaccine, since it was discovered by the 3 scientists. So it has been named as Bacillus calmette-guerin. And so this is the vaccine given to prevent tuberculosis, and this vaccine is available in all the primary health centers, and it is referred by our government also. So we can get it at free of cost in all the primary health centers. So tuberculosis, this disease is affected by Mycobacterium tuberculosis, and it can spread through air and sputum of an infected person. And persistent cough, blood mucus, loss of weight and breathlessness are the symptoms of tuberculosis, and it can be prevented by BCG vaccine. And second disease is cholera. So this is also caused by a bacteria called Vibrio cholerae. So this can be transmitted by flies and contaminated food and water. So what do you mean by contaminated food and water? And many of the time the food which is not closed properly, which is kept open, and the roadside street foods which is not hygienic at all, so these kind of foods are being contaminated by other microorganisms. So if you are eating this contaminated food and if the water is being contaminated, this microorganism can spread easily. Okay, so cholera is caused by Vibrio cholerae. It can be spread through flies and by contaminated food and water. So watery diarrhea and vomiting and rapid dehydration are the symptoms of cholera. So watery diarrhea, so we know it's a simple diarrhea. Whenever there is a diarrheal diseases, our body is prone to lose much of water. So the loss of amount of water from our body is called as dehydration. So when the water is lost, all the nutrients, all the minerals are also lost when the water is lost. So due to dehydration, the water content of our body will be lost, and all the minerals and nutrient content will also be lost. And you think of that, our blood is made up of 75% of water. So if the water content has been reduced, there is a chance of our blood to become more concentrated. So if the blood is concentrated, the oxygen supply will not be equal inside our body. So these kind of symptoms are very much fatal in case of cholera. So in order to avoid this dehydration, whenever there is a diarrhea, we are given with oral rehydration solution. ORS ன்னு கேள்விப்பட்டிருப்பீங்க. ஒரு ஆரஞ்சு கலர் பவுடர் மாதிரி இருக்கும், அதை சுடு தண்ணியில் போட்டு குடிக்க சொல்லியிருப்பாங்க. Oral rehydration solution. So that will be equalizing all the nutrients which has been extracted from our body due to the diarrhea. And also a very good oral rehydration solution எதுன்னு பார்த்தோம்னா, நம்மளுக்கு diarrheal disease வந்துச்சுன்னா வீட்டில் வந்து உப்பும் சர்க்கரையும் போட்டு தண்ணியில் கலந்து கொடுப்பாங்க. So that will balance all the kind of nutrients lost from our body due to diarrhea and vomiting. Okay, and there is an anti-cholera vaccine available to prevent us from the disease called cholera. And by maintaining personal hygiene, we can get rid of this disease cholera. And talking about cholera, like how we are prone to disease COVID-19 coronavirus, it's a pandemic disease. Pandemic means what? The whole world has been affected by the same kind of diseases. It is not in a particular country or a particular state. The whole world has been in the threat of COVID-19 coronaviruses. Like previous years, this cholera is also a pandemic disease. It has been spread worldwide, and many people were dying because of cholera. At that time, there is no medicine discovered to cure cholera, and due to rapid dehydration, many people were dying due to cholera. And after that, they have discovered the medicine for cholera also, and nowadays cholera has been completely eradicated from the whole world. So we have anti-cholera vaccine for as a preventive measures for cholera. And as usual, for maintaining personal hygiene is the best method to prevent us from any kind of diseases. Even now at present, we are in a state, always we used to hear the words, whenever you go out and come inside the home, you have to wash your hands with soap or any antibiotic, and you have to maintain your personal hygiene. And whenever you sneeze, you have to use your handkerchief, and you have to wash your hands often, and you have to maintain your personal hygiene. So whenever you are maintaining a personal hygiene, 90% of the disease will not come to us. So maintaining personal hygiene is very important thing to being healthy, to stay healthy. Okay, so next disease is common cold. Influenza virus is the causative organism of common cold, and it can spread through air. And if you see the symptom, நம்மளுக்கு சளி பிடிக்கும் இல்லையா, காமன் கோல்டு அப்படிங்கிறது நார்மலாக சளி பிடிக்கிறது, ரன்னிங் ரோஸ், உங்களுக்கு சளி வந்துட்டே இருக்கிறது, and then sneezing, தும்பல். So these are the symptoms of common cold. And main thing, isolation of the patient. So as we are doing for COVID-19 குவாரண்டைன் அப்படிங்கிற வேர்டு கேள்விப்பட்டிருப்போம். ஸோ பேஷண்ட்ஸை நம்ம ஐசோலேட் பண்ணி வைக்கிறது, தனிமைப்படுத்துதல் அப்படிங்கிற வேர்டெல்லாம் நம்ம இப்போ தான் கேள்விப்பட்டிருப்போம். பட் ஆல்ரெடி நிறைய கைண்ட் ஆஃப் டிசீசஸ்க்கு ஐசோலேஷன் ஆஃப் பேஷண்ட் அப்படிங்கிற ஒரு ப்ரொசீஜர் இருக்குது. அந்த பேஷண்ட்டை நம்ம தனிமைப்படுத்தி வச்சோம்னா, எதுக்காக தனிமைப்படுத்தி வைக்கிறோம், அவங்கக்கிட்ட இருந்து மேலே ஒருத்தங்களுக்கு அந்த டிசீஸ் வந்து ஸ்ப்ரெட் ஆகாமல் இருக்கிறதுக்காக தான் தனிமைப்படுத்தி வைக்கிறோம். ஸோ தட் இஸ் கால்ட் ஐசோலேஷன் ஆஃப் பேஷண்ட். ஸோ whenever there is a common cold disease, you can isolate the patient to avoid the spreading of disease to other persons. So that is the preventive measures. And still now there is no vaccines discovered for common cold. since a reason, the common cold are caused by a group of viruses called rhinoviruses, and they have the ability to change their genetic structure easily. So அதோட ஸ்ட்ரக்சர் மாற்றிட்டே இருக்கிறதுனால அதுக்கு பெர்மனெண்ட்டாக ஒரு மருந்து நம்மளால் கண்டுபிடிக்க முடியாது. But moreover, more kind of antibiotics are given to get rid of common cold, and this is just a common disease. Okay. And next disease is rabies. It is caused by a group of virus called Rhabdoviridae. Rhabdoviridae is a causative organism of the disease rabies, and this is mainly through an animal bite, and especially through dog. நாய் கடிக்கிறதுனால வியாதி வந்து சொல்கிறாங்களா, so that is called rabies disease. And whenever if you are encountered by a bite of an animal like a dog, and we are prone to have these characteristics. What are the characteristics of that animal? We will also have that characteristics. So that is a myth actually. But here the fever, hallucination, paralysis, inability to swallow are the symptoms of rabies disease. So fever, it's a common fever. Hallucination, நடக்காத ஒரு விஷயத்தை வந்து நினச்சிட்டு இது நடக்கும் அப்படின்றத hallucination. And paralysis, very well, inability to move our hands and legs, that is called paralysis. கை கால் இழுத்துக்கிறது, that is called paralysis. And inability to swallow, so if you are unable to swallow, we cannot eat any kind of food, so automatically our body will lose all kinds of nutrients, so we will be very weak also. Okay, so this is the symptoms of rabies disease. And we have anti-rabies vaccine. Okay, and next disease, amoebic dysentery. Amoebic dysentery is caused by a protozoan called as Entamoeba histolytica. So the Entamoeba histolytica is the causative organism of amoebic dysentery, and it can spread through food, water and flies. And flies in பார்க்கும்போது mostly house flies and mosquitoes தான் அந்த flies இருக்கும், and apart from that many other flies also transmit the diseases. Okay, and severe diarrhea and blood in stool is the symptom of amoebic dysentery. So through our fecal matter, blood will also be letting out, so this reduces our blood content and obviously will be very weak, and sometimes it proves to be very fatal in case of children. So children below the age of 2 or 3, when this diarrhea is very severe, it can be very fatal. It can lead to death also in children, and if the person is very weak also, they are prone to death. Okay, so this is also a fatal disease. And preventive measures, so as we said already, proper sanitation. So we have to maintain our place clean and hygienic. So by maintaining a proper sanitation, we can prevent ourselves from dysentery. And apart from that, we have some antibiotics such as metronidazole is an antibiotic which has to be administered to cure amoebic dysentery disease. And next disease is malaria, and this is also a common disease. We heard malaria is also a fatal disease, sometimes like coronavirus. Once malaria proved to be a very fatal disease, many deaths have occurred due to malaria, and this is caused by a plasmodium called protozoa. And we always know that malaria is caused by female Anopheles mosquito, but actually it is not. Malaria is not caused by female Anopheles mosquito. Female Anopheles mosquito is just the carrier of the disease. So here comes the word called vector. So vector is thing which carries the disease from an infected person to the healthy person. So actually in case of malaria, the female Anopheles mosquito is the vector, it is the carrier of disease, but actually it is not the causative organism of the disease. Here Plasmodium protozoa, it's a kind of protozoa. Plasmodium is the causative organism of a disease. And in Plasmodium species itself, we have 4 different categories: Plasmodium vivax, Plasmodium falciparum, and Plasmodium ovale, and Plasmodium malariae. These 4 species of malaria can cause malarial diseases, and within that itself, Plasmodium falciparum can cause a deadly disease, and it proves to be fatal. So fatal means it can lead to death, so that is called fatal. So 4 species of Plasmodium are able to cause a disease called malaria, and female Anopheles mosquito is just the carrier of the disease. It's not actually the causative organism of the disease. Okay, so what are the symptoms? Nausea, vomiting and high fever are the symptoms of malaria. And anti-malarial drugs like quinine, chloroquine to be taken, and also usage of mosquito repellents and nets. So in order to prevent ourselves from malaria, we have to use mosquito repellents and nets. So why we are asked to use mosquito repellents means malaria is transmitted by the mosquitoes. So if we are not infected by mosquito, not bitten by a mosquito, then it is not spread from one person to another person. So in order to avoid spreading of the disease, we are avoiding the bite of a mosquito. So in order to avoid the bite of a mosquito, we are using mosquito repellents and nets. But in order to kill the plasmodium, we are given with quinine and chloroquine is an anti-malarial drugs. Okay, so these are a few examples, and we have so many examples of the diseases caused by microbes. Here, just to know about that, here we have a few examples of tuberculosis, cholera, common cold, rabies, amoebic dysentery and malaria. Okay, I hope you are clear with it. Next we'll move on to the diseases caused by microorganisms in animals. So anthrax, it's a disease which will affect the cattle, and also sometimes it affects humans. Okay, so Bacillus anthracis is the causative organism of the disease, and it's a group of bacteria, and it can spread to soil and food. So what are the symptoms? Difficulty in breathing, unconsciousness and loss of appetite. So difficulty in breathing, the animal or a person affected is unable to breathe, so that is called difficulty in breathing. And unconsciousness, say lost their consciousness, la samyam marandrathu and mayakam pottu ulvaradhu, idella unconsciousness. And loss of appetite, appetite means pasi edukama irukkiradhu, so that is called loss of appetite. So these symptoms are mostly seen in cattle, ஆடு மாடுக்கெல்லாமே இந்த டிசீஸ் வந்திருக்கு, and mostly cattle தான் இந்த டிசீஸ் அதிகமாக பார்த்துருக்கோம், anthrax disease. So even the cattle are prone to bear such a kind of symptoms such as difficulty in breathing, unconsciousness and loss of appetite. Okay, and what are the preventive measures? So anthrax vaccine is given to prevent the disease anthrax. So next disease is a very common diseases in cattle, that is foot and mouth disease, FMD அப்படினு சொல்லுவாங்க, foot and mouth disease. So it is also caused by a group of viruses called aptovirus, and it can spread through air and animal vectors. So animal vectors, so already we have seen vector is an agent which carries the disease from infected person to a healthy person, just it's a carrier of the disease. So through animal vector disease can spread. And fever and blisters in the mouth and weight loss and decreased milk production are the symptoms of FM disease. So fever, you know very well, and blisters in the mouth, the animal will be having many kind of mouth ulcers, that is blisters, வாயில் நிறைய புண்ணு வருது, அதுதான் blisters in mouth. And weight loss and decreased milk production. So we know very well we are using cattle mainly for milk production, dairy products. So milk production will be decreased in case of foot and mouth disease. So FMD vaccine, foot and mouth disease vaccine, FMD means foot and mouth disease vaccine is given to prevent the disease. So these are two examples given for the disease caused by microorganisms in animals. And next we'll see the disease caused by microorganisms in plants. So even in plants also microorganisms can cause different diseases, like in citrus canker. So citrus, the word denotes citrus fruits like lemon, orange, and these are all examples for citrus fruits. So Xanthomonas axinopodis and Xanthomonas citri, these are the two group of bacteria which cause citrus canker disease, and it can spread through air and water. And the symptoms are lesions on leaves, stems and fruits. So இந்த எலுமிச்சம் பழத்து மேலே இந்த மாதிரி ப்ரௌன் கலர் டார்க் ஸ்பாட்ஸ் நம்ம நிறைய டைம் பார்த்துருப்போம் அந்த இல்லையா, ஸோ அதுதான் வந்து அந்த டிசீஸ்க்கான சிம்டம். ஓகே, so it is affected by the citrus canker diseases, and sometimes அந்த லீவ்ஸ்லாம் பார்த்தோம்னா ப்ரௌன் கலர் ஸ்பாட்ஸ் நிறையா இருக்கும். ஸோ அதுதான் அந்த டிசீஸ்க்கான சிம்டம்ஸ். ஸோ வாட் have we given to prevent the disease? Copper based bactericides. So bactericides means killing of bacteria. Side means killing. Bacteria, no, it's a group of microorganism. So killing of bacteria is called bactericides. It can be used. So copper based bactericides can be used for citrus canker diseases. And potato blight disease, it is caused by Phytophthora infestans. It is a group of fungi, and it can spread through air, and you can see brown lesions on the surface of tubers. So potatoல சில சமயம் brown color dark spots நம்மளால பார்க்க முடியும். So that is due to this Phytophthora infestans. அது வந்து அந்த டிசீஸை காஸ் பண்ணதுனால தான் அதில் அந்த brown color dark spots நம்மளால பார்க்க முடியுது in potatoesலாம். ஓகேவா? So brown lesions on the surface of tubers. So in order to prevent the disease, we are using fungicides. So as we said earlier, side means killing fungus. So killing of fungus is called fungicides. So various kinds of fungicides are used for preventing this potato blight disease. So children, we have seen the diseases caused by microorganisms in humans and microorganisms in animals and also in plants. Now we'll move on to the next topic, microbes and food process. So how the microorganisms are useful in food preservation techniques. So why do we preserve our food? In order to avoid the food spoilage, in order to preserve the food for a longer time, we use certain methods to preserve our food. We have different methods, so we'll see one by one. In traditional method, first method is fermentation. So what do you mean by fermentation? Most probably this process will be happening in the case of yeast, which is an unicellular fungus. This unicellular fungus will convert the carbohydrate directly, that is starch, directly into sugars and alcohol. Okay, so this process is called fermentation, and yeast is an anaerobic organism which grows in the absence of oxygen, you know very well. So in the absence of oxygen, the glucose is directly the food material is directly converted into lactic acid and alcohol. So that method is called fermentation. So here the microbial conversion of starch and sugars into alcohol. So starch is a complex sugar and sugars is nothing but a molecule of glucose. So many kinds of glucose molecule combine together to form a starch. It is a complex carbohydrate. So microbial conversion of starch and sugars into alcohol is the process happening in fermentation, and it is high in nutrition also. It is due to the unicellular fungi called yeast, which is an anaerobic microorganism. So by this process we can preserve the food for a longer period, and this is mainly used in the preservation of fruit juices such as grape juice, apple juice, etc. You can get a sour smell in that because of this fermentation process. Okay, so in the happy fizz, in the apple juice, grape juice லாம் பார்த்தோம்னா ஒரு sour smell அடிக்கும் இல்லையா? ஸோ அந்த வாசனை எதனால் வருது அப்படின்னா அந்த ஆல்கஹால் பிரச்சனை. பட் ஆல்கஹால் இட்ஸ் நாட் லைக் நம்ம நிறைய அமௌண்ட் ஆஃப் ஆல்கஹால் இருந்தால் தான் அது வந்து நம்மளுக்கு மயக்கம் வருது அதெல்லாம் பண்ணும். ஸோ திஸ் இஸ் ஜஸ்ட் highly nutritious only. It is not very much harmful to human beings. So due to the fermentation process we can preserve the fruit juices for a long time. And second, boiling. So boiling method நம்ம பார்த்துருப்போம். நம்ம வீட்டில் பால் வாங்கினோம்னா என்ன பண்ணுவோம், உடனே நம்ம அதை நல்லா கொதிக்க வச்சுருவோம். ஸோ பாலை நல்லா கொதிக்க வச்சிட்டாலே அதில் எந்த மைக்ரோ ஆர்கானிசம்ஸும் வந்து இருக்காது. ஸோ பாய்லிங் கில்ஸ் மைக்ரோ ஆர்கானிசம்ஸ். ஸோ மில்க் அண்ட் வாட்டர் கேன் பி ப்ரிசர்வ்ட் பை யூஸிங் திஸ் டெக்னிக். அண்ட் தேர்ட் டெக்னிக் இஸ் பிக்லிங். ஸோ வீட்டில் பார்த்திங்கன்னா ஊறுகாய் போட்டு வைப்பாங்க இல்லையா, காய்கறியெல்லாம் போட்டு ஊறுகாய் போட்டு வைப்பாங்க, எலுமிச்சம் ஊறுகாய், மாங்காய் ஊறுகாய். ஸோ அந்த மாங்காய் ஊறுகாயெல்லாம் போட்டு வச்சாங்கன்னா ஜாடியில் போட்டு வச்சா 6 வருஷம் 1 வருஷம் ஆனாலும் அந்த ஊறுகாய் கெட்டு போகாமல் இருக்கும். எப்படி அது மட்டும் கெட்டு போகாமல் இருக்குது? அது மேலே ஊற்றிருக்கக்கூடிய அந்த ஆயில், வினீகர் அண்ட் எக்ஸஸ் அமௌண்ட் ஆஃப் சால்ட். ஸோ சால்ட் எப்பயுமே மைக்ரோ ஆர்கானிசம் க்ரோத்தை வந்து இன்ஹிபிட் பண்ணிகிட்டு இருக்கும், அண்ட் ஆயில் வந்து மாய்ஸ்டர் கான்டென்ட்டை அலோவ் பண்ணவே பண்ணாது. ஸோ எந்த ஒரு இடத்துல மாய்ஸ்டர் கான்டென்ட் இல்லையோ அங்கே மைக்ரோ ஆர்கானிசமால் க்ரோ ஆகவே முடியாது. ஸோ மைக்ரோ ஆர்கானிசம்ஸ் இருந்தால் தான் அந்த ஃபுட்டை வந்து ஸ்பாயில் பண்ணுறதுக்கு அது ஹெல்ப் பண்ணும். ஸோ மைக்ரோ ஆர்கானிசம்ஸ் ஆர் ரெஸ்பான்சிபிள் ஃபார் ஃபுட் ஸ்பாயிலேஜ். ஓகே, சேஞ்சஸ் இன் டெக்ஸ்சர், கலர் அண்ட் ஆர்டர் ஆஃப் த ஃபுட். அந்த ஃபுட்டோட ஸ்மெல் மாறிடும், டெக்ஸ்சர் மாறிடும், கலர் மாறிடும். ஸோ அதுதான் நம்ம ஃபுட் ஸ்பாயிலேஜ்னு சொல்கிறோம். ஸோ அந்த ஃபுட்டு ஸ்பாயில் ஆகாமல் நிறைய நாள் வந்து நம்ம அந்த ஃபுட்டை ப்ரிசர்வ் பண்ணி வைக்கணும்னா நம்ம பிக்லிங் அப்படின்னு ஒரு மெத்தட் நம்ம யூஸ் பண்ணுறோம். ஸோ இன் திஸ் மெத்தட் we are using edible antimicrobial liquid. What do you mean by edible? Edible means which we can eat. நம்ம இதெல்லாம் சாப்பிட முடியுமோ அதை தான் நம்ம வந்து எடிபிள்னு சொல்லுவோம். ஸோ சாப்பிடக்கூடிய antimicrobial liquid. ஸோ மைக்ரோபுக்கு அகெயின்ஸ்ட் இருக்கக்கூடிய ஒரு கைண்ட் ஆஃப் லிக்விடை நம்ம யூஸ் பண்ணுறோம். ஸோ எடிபிள் ஆயில் யூஸ் பண்ணுறோம் இல்லையா, ஸோ அந்த வினீகர் யூஸ் பண்ணுறோம்ல ஊறுகாயில், அதுதான் antimicrobial liquid which is against the microbial growth. So we are using edible antimicrobial liquid. So in the case of chemical pickling, food is used in edible liquid like vinegar, alcohol and oil. ஸோ ஊறுகாயில் நிறைய எண்ணெய் போட்டு வைக்கிறதுக்கான காரணம் அந்த எண்ணெய் எல்லாமே இந்த மாய்ஸ்டர் கண்டென்ட் ரிமூவ் பண்ணிடும், மைக்ரோ ஆர்கானிசம் க்ரோத்தையும் வந்து இன்ஹிபிட் பண்ணும். ஸோ only we are using oil for chemical pickling. And also fermentation pickling. So as we saw already, the bacteria in the liquid, they produce organic acid, for example lactobacillus, and these kind of lactobacillus are responsible for turning milk into curd. Lactic acid bacteria ன்னு சொல்கிறோம். எதனால் அது அப்படி சொல்கிறோன்னா, it can produce lactic acid, it can convert the sugar into lactic acid. ஸோ அதனால தான் the lactic acid bacteria அப்படின்னு சொல்கிறோம். So these kind of lactobacillus bacteria are useful for fermentation pickling process. Next is sugaring. So this is one kind of food preservation technique used to preserve the fruit jams. So fruit jamsல நிறைய amount of sugar add பண்ணியிருப்பாங்க, அதே மாதிரி நிறைய antimicrobial syrup add பண்ணியிருப்பாங்க. ஸோ எதுக்காக அப்படின்னா அது வந்து நிறைய நாள் கெட்டு போகாமல் இருக்கணும் அப்படிங்கிறதுக்காக. ஸோ sugar also prevents the growth of microorganisms. So if you are adding more amount of sugar also, it will inhibit the growth of microorganisms, and the food can be preserved for a longer period. So in food preparation we can use an antimicrobial syrup also can use, and it is stored in dry condition. So these are some of the methods of food preservation technique, like fermentation, boiling, pickling and sugaring. So these are also the method of food preservation. And in addition to that, we have one more technique called pasteurization, even though it is not mentioned in the slide. Louis Pasteur was the person to discover this pasteurization technique. Here the food it is mainly used to preserve milk, and milk first it is cooled to a high degree temperature like 70 degrees Celsius, and again immediately it cooled to 10 degrees Celsius. This again repeated heating and cooling will inhibit the growth of microorganisms, and this pasteurization technique is mainly used for milk preservation, and this was discovered by Louis Pasteur. So that is also one kind of food preservation techniques. Okay, so in this video we have seen about the harmful effects of microorganisms. So we have seen a few examples for diseases caused by microorganisms in humans and plants and in animals, and we have seen different methods of food preservation such as fermentation, boiling, pickling, sugaring and pasteurization. So these are the methods used to increase the life of the food items. In order to preserve the food for a longer period, we are using these methods for food preservation. So with this we'll stop in this video, and in the next video we'll see about the food process. We'll see about the food production and about prions and virions, and we will discuss about the book back 1 mark also. So don't miss the next video. We are going to discussing about the book back 1 mark answers. Okay children. Okay, so till that you have a general overlook over this. So keep watching, keep listening, don't forget to view the previous videos also. So just have a general idea of this lesson. So thank you children, have a nice day.